This is my story of Kang Yatse II. The trip started with an overnight flight from London to Delhi. Upon arrival, we learned of the devastating flooding that had hit Delhi and the rest of India. We spent day 3 in the airport, watching planes take off, but learning that all flights to Leh had been cancelled, putting our trip in jeopardy. We spent the next 2 days doing some unexpected sightseeing while new plans were put in place and seats for flights later in the week were secured. 72 hours later than expected, we were able to make our internal flight to Leh in northern India. It was great to be surrounded by mountains again and in such a beautiful town as we adapted to the new altitude. Our first full day in Leh saw us drive to visit an 11th century monastery before hiking up the local stupa in Leh as we stretched our legs for the first time. The next day saw a short but hair-raising drive to one of the world's highest passes as we met the snow line for the first time above 5,000 metres. Day 9 saw us leave the comforts of Leh as we drove for a few hours to a village for an acclimatisation walk before bedding down in our tents for the first time. The next morning, we were awoken by the horses who would carry our kit. We set out for a fantastic day's walking with multiple river crossings as we moved towards our goal of Kang Yatse II. Waking up in the mountains, we set off for a beautiful day's trekking in surprisingly hot conditions before climbing down to the valley floor for a picturesque campsite. Today we set off for base camp, crossing over a high pass with breathtaking views. After battling a torrential downpour, we arrived into camp in the late afternoon for our first clear sight of Kang Yatse II. A storm arrived, so we went to bed not knowing if we'd be able to go for the summit in just a few hours' time. With an improvement in the weather, at midnight we set off for the summit with a crackle of optimism. The first team, the Canaries in the coal mine, finished agonisingly short of the summit as our quick pace left the team suffering from AMS. The huge congratulations to a few of the later team were able to reach the top. Most importantly, 15 hours later, everyone was safely back at base camp. The next day, camp was quietly packed up as we headed off the mountain with tired bodies but fantastic memories. Thank you to all our guides and the people of India for sharing your beautiful country with us.